Hello. Welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe and also support my small business at latricelimited.com. So Uber is being sued by over 500, I think the number was 550 women because of sexual assault claims that have taken place via their app. Okay. So as you see, it says Uber hit with lawsuit by 500 women over allegations of sexual assault. The ride-sharing giant Uber was hit with the lawsuit from hundreds of women who alleged they were sexually assaulted by the company's drivers. Okay. A lawsuit filed on behalf of 550 women alleges that the plaintiffs were attacked while utilizing the company's service. The complaint filed in San Francisco Superior Court alleges a wide range of crimes in several states, which include rape, sexual assault and battery, kidnapping, false imprisonment, stalking, and harassment, which, oh goodness. For me, I have used Uber and Lyft many times. Probably over 300 times. I've used them very, very often. Okay. I luckily have not had to deal with any of that. I have had two instances which were, there was just weird instances, but I'm very happy and fortunate that I did not have to deal with that. Says the law firm Slater is representing the women, but for Uber, these women, as I said, these women would have not gotten into this car and never would have been sexually assaulted. So that's what they're saying is, if you guys were to have done better background checks and made sure that these people were on the up and up, as we can say, we would not have had these issues and we wouldn't be dealing with this. I wouldn't even be talking about this right now. So that's what they're saying with that. In June, Uber released a 2020 report declaring 998 sexual assaults, of which 141 were rapes. Since 2019, Uber has wrapped up 3,824 reports of just the top 5 severe sexual assault categories. All right. From 2017 and 18, there were 6,000 sexual assault reports. I did not know it was that bad. I really did not know that I knew things will happen because, if you think about like even taxis, this is what was before all of the ride sharing. You had taxis and I heard stories about that kind of stuff, but I didn't know it was even coming close to this. It says that Uber said the findings show that sexual assaults reported in the Uber app decreased by 38%. However, most reports likely go to the police, not the app. So there we go. It says we get calls every day from women who are abused in Uber cars, unfortunately, says Slater, who is the attorney for them. While we can't comment on pending litigation, we will continue to keep safety at our heart of work. Okay, so that's what they end up talking about. And this actually is going to go to my next point, because Lyft, so you have Uber and Lyft. Uber's more of they cost a little bit more, and that was like the first one. Lyft is a little bit cheaper. Lyft also said it got 4,000 sexual assault reports between 2017 and 18, which is crazy. All right. So Lyft received more than 4,000 reports of sexual assaults during rides from 2017 to 19. The company, so this one says 19, the company revealed in a new report, including 1,800 reports in 2019 alone. Like, this is, and if y'all see my last video, y'all know the statistics, okay? Lyft revealed the numbers on Thursday after having pleaded in 2019 to do so. In his report, the company said the number of sexual assault reports collected through its app has risen from 1,096 in 2017 to 1,255 in 2018. All right, and then they got 1,807 in 2019. More than half of the incidents in 2019 reported as non-consensual, which is rape, a touching of the sexual body part, which is rape. Another 156 reported non-consensual sexual penetration, which also is rape. All right. Which to me is, because the thing about it is, and that's what makes you so worried, especially being a female and knowing what happens. You get into these cars with these males and this is the kind of stuff that happens. But you would think that you're safe because you're like, okay, but these people had a background check, they had this done, they should be on the up and up. But that just unfortunately is not the reality of what we have going on. Keep going. It says in a class action lawsuit in 2018, 9 women accused Uber of attempting to silence the reports of sexual assaults by forcing them to individually settle their cases through arbitration, a private process that often results in confidentiality agreements. Why would you want to do that? Because you want to save face and you want to make your company not seem as bad as it truly is. Uber was fined $59 million by a California regulator in 2020 for failing to comply with requests for data on sexual assault incidences in its vehicles. That's just so upsetting, like in all reality. That is so upsetting to even hear about, because it's like, not only do you know what's happening, but then you're like, oh, but we don't want to talk about that. Let's not talk about that. And that's the problem that we have. I remember when I was using Uber and Lyft often, I was using that thing every day, okay? But when I was using it, I remember I would get like little surveys kind of things, or I guess it was like surveys. And they'll ask you questions and they'll be like, hey, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? And one of them was, you being a woman, how do you feel about having a female driver? And how do you feel about having it? Why would you want to have it? What times of the day would you want to have it? Because I was doing a lot of like night work, if you know what I mean. So I needed to be picked up 2-3 in the morning. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, I need to, you know what I mean? And I just feel safer. So they asked all those questions and I was like, okay, cool. I believe it was Lyft that did it. They asked all those questions and I'm like, okay, cool. Hopefully by the time this rolls out, you have a whole bunch of females who would be able to utilize the service and request a certain type of person. Okay. So I'm, in the mindset, y'all said y'all rolling this stuff out, because they asked me about this about 3 years ago. They asked me about it about 3 years ago and I'm like, okay, cool. Y'all rolling this stuff out. Y'all gonna get this stuff going, right? And then I look it up today, and then I looked at some other things on the actual Uber and Lyft site, and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So as you can see, can I request a female driver on Uber? And before we go ahead, this also goes into the previous video that I titled. Let me see what I actually titled that video. Twitter hates women. Okay, so if you have seen that video, it has a black chick on the side. It has the Twitter bird on there. This goes along with that. Okay, because women are being seen, females are being called psychotic, delusional, weird, for whatever the reason is, because we would like same-sex care, whether that's for like disabled people, touching on me. I want a woman to do that, not a male. Okay. And I have the whole stats and all that stuff in that video. Okay. So this would also be another reason for that, because from what it seems is most of the drivers were male, and all of these women got raped, stalked, harassed, just assaulted, in different, they said false imprisonment, all these different things. Okay. Statistics show that it's males doing it. They didn't want to say all of it in here, but we know that that's what it is. Okay. Because as you've seen, it didn't say X amount of males. Okay. So you just have to assume that that's what that is, because of statistics have proven. And these are all females saying this. Okay. But you may have some outliers where there are some females in there, but the article is not showing that. They're not giving you that number of males, but I would assume for every one female is a male. Okay. But so I say all this to say, I look and I'm like, okay, well, this is a perfect reason why a female will want another female in there. Okay. Statistically, we know you're not going to really harm me like that. Okay, this is your job and you ain't really going to do anything like that. So I'm like, okay, well, Lyft has said that they got the thing going. They asked me all the questions 3 years ago. They said they're going to roll this stuff out. Y'all did it, right? Because I don't really use it like that anymore. Okay. So I'm like, y'all did it, right? No. Can you request a female driver for Uber? No, you can't, because they're going to say it is discriminatory towards the males. If you only ask for a female driver, well, you're discriminating against male drivers, and discrimination, we have no place for discrimination. So you have no place for discrimination, but you have a place for rape. No place for discrimination, but you have a place for assault. No place for discrimination, but you have a place for false imprisonment, harassment, stalking. That's okay. But we don't want the guys to feel bad that, women don't prefer to have a male driver. But what about this? Like I said, I think I had like well over 300 rides, okay, that I used. I was a passenger in those. Like I said, only 2 instances where it was like, you know what I mean? One was, it was, and you're not supposed to do this. One, I was getting picked up. Like I said, I work late. I was getting picked up at like 3 a.m, something like that. And it was a black lady, and there was another black lady in the front seat. Okay. Because I was like, hey, pick me up, in the front of the building that I was being picked up from. And I heard someone else's voice, and I'm like, what's going on? Because you ain't supposed to hear that. Okay. You're really not supposed to hear anything. So I'm like, okay. Then they pull up, and I see it's 2 black females in there. Mind you, it's against the rules to do that. It's only supposed to be the driver and the passenger. And I don't do shared services. So it's only me and you. So the fact that it was another person, that enhances your fear, because I don't know this person. You know this person. Who's to say that you don't try to assault me? Who's to say that you don't try to rob me? You don't try to kill me or do whatever you may do. Now I have to take on 2 people instead of 1. So that's one of the main things. It's security, it's safety. I would feel better if it was just 1 person, but that was 2. I had another one where it was like a black African kind of guy. And he was creepy, yo. Like, so when I get into Lyft and Uber rides and stuff like that, I very rarely, maybe like 1% of the time, will I sit in the front. I very rarely do that. I always sit in the back, and I always I try to sit right behind your seat if I can, but I typically sit in the back of the seat, okay, in the back of the car. So he was there. You got the mirror, so you can see back behind you and whatnot. I'm sitting there, and then he just is like looking up. And then I look up, because I see you looking at me. Okay. So this ain't, I see him look up, and I look up, and then he keeps going like this. And then I'm like, okay. And then he looks up again, and then I'm minding my business, and I look up, and then he keeps going. So it was like this weird thing. And then, and mind you, this was like 11 p.m. And then he was like, hey, do you go out all the time or something? I was like, nah, usually when I have my free time, whatever, right? Oh, okay. Do you like being down there? And I'm like, I mean, it's fine. It's whatever. Okay. What times are you usually? And I'm like, okay, dude, are you trying to, I didn't report him. I didn't even think about reporting him. I reported the lady, because this happened later on, and this happened after, I started getting like really creeped out after a while, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should have reported him. But I didn't report him, but I did report her, because I was like really like, okay, what the heck, you know what I mean? But in that instance, I should have reported him as well. But this is one of those things, you just don't feel safe. And then you're saying, you asked me a survey 3 years ago about having a female, then you're like, oh yeah, you could do, we may implement it. And then now I find out you haven't even implemented it because it's discriminatory. Well, I'm sure a person would rather it be discriminatory towards the male than have that same male that was being discriminated against rape her. I'm pretty sure she would be like, you know what? F that. I want a chick, because 9 times out of 10, I would be safer with her, so this was one of the things that really bothered me, because I'm like, there's really no reason why you can't implement something like this, and I get it, not every female is going to be in the area, so if you're okay with waiting 20 minutes, you wait 20 minutes. If you're not, because at the end of the day, all these people are strangers. Okay. You don't know any of these people. Okay. That's just what it is at the end of the day. So it's not like you're going to be like, oh, well, I know all these people, and da-da-da. You don't know these people. So anyone could do anything, but we know who do it more often, if you know what I mean. So I was thinking about it, and I'm like, what can you do to possibly stay safe? What can a female do to stay safe while in some stranger's car with some stranger? Okay. So it was a couple. I was thinking about pepper spray, for example. Okay. Everyone knows about it, I use like the Sabre one, and I like it. It's nice and compact, as you guys can see, probably put it up here. Nice and compact, small, and it even has a keychain if you want to use that. I usually don't. I just put it in my bag or whatever the case may be. What I really like about it is the functionality of it. So you have it, looks like that. So this is what it looks like when it's closed. And as you see right here is the little thing that you could press down or whatnot. So all you do is you just move it like that. Now you see it looks like that. Now you see this is closed. This is open. And it looks like that. The reason why you see like yellow stuff is because I have sprayed it to try it out, and it has like a shoop kind of stream to it. Okay. And then you just press it, and then boom, you can shake it up, whatever, you press it, boom. And then just to close it, you just close it like that, and then boom. And then as you see, I'm pressing it, nothing's coming out because it's closed. And it's nice and simple, something that you could just put in your bag. And if you're into different colors, I have these in 3 different colors. I got a black one. This one's kind of like a washed out mauve kind of, or washed out purple, gray, I guess you could say. And then I have a white one. So it's nice and simple. You could use it, and you could put it in like little different things. Like when I go biking, for example, I have a fanny pack that I put it in, so you could put it in little things like that. So that's one of the things. If you have a box cutter, I would suggest carrying one. Or if you got one of those little tactical knives or something like that, just in case you may need it. Now, I have seen self-defense videos, so you're going to be taking a risk when you have that. In case you have it, someone else takes away from you, now they have your thing. Okay, so as what I was seeing in those, they said you may end up getting cut. Okay, but if it allows you to get out of a situation, what's a little blood spilled essentially is what that is. So I mean, carry those. Also, another tip that I actually found out about online was people were talking about having looking at the child lock, see if that's on there. So obviously you open a door and they have like a little lock right there. Every car is different, but from the ones I've seen, they've always just been right there. So you have to, so with the child lock, they can't open it from the inside. And that's what I did see, that a lot of people were falling victim to that, because the child lock was on and you can't get out the car. Okay. You would have to get out through like the passenger seat or the driver's seat, which if he's there, you ain't gonna be able to do that, so it's always a good habit to close it and like kind of see if there's a child lock, or not necessarily close it, but like kind of look and just see. And if you see that it says child lock, you open that thing up, okay? Or possibly cancel your ride, because they know what they're doing. But I was also looking, and this was so Uber Black is a thing that's for like the luxury rides. You get the newer cars, it looks cute, maybe they're wearing like a black suit or whatever the case may be. And I was thinking this is also an option. It's not financially frugal, but it is an option to use. Okay, so it says, are Uber Black drivers safer? Yes. Okay. And I have all the links down below if you want to read the full article, because they have a lot of other details in there. It says Uber requires all drivers to undergo a background check, DMV check, and vehicle inspection to ensure that they can safely transport passengers. All right. But Uber Black drivers must meet an even more rigorous standard, maintaining a driver rating of at least 4.8, as well as possessing commercial insurance and any local licenses or certifications necessary to be a professional driver. So the thing about Uber Black is, and Lyft also has a service as well. It's called Lux Black. So the thing about Uber Black is Uber Black, they require the drivers to have a CDL, commercial driver's license. Okay, now that's different than your regular driver's license. Regular driver's license, you do your little thing, you go to DMV, boom. Commercial's driver's license, you already have your license, but we gotta know that you can drive like a commercial size vehicle. You know what I mean? We also got to know that you can adhere to those kind of safety standards that they have. So it'll cost you more, but Uber Black, they have to go through even more rigorous kind of a set of rules. They can't just be Joe Blow who was like, well, I got my license, my car's fine, it's a 06 Honda, okay, cool, and then something happens. Like with this, it's supposed to be a bit safer because it is a more luxury thing. You know what I mean? So there's different little things that people can do. Let me know, like, pretty much like, what do you guys do as women? What do you guys do? Do you guys carry around a pepper spray or like a knife of some sort, a blade or something like that? Do you have like a taser? I don't know. I have a taser. But do you like carry any of that around? What I would think would be a really good move and smart move would be like, if you're in the car and just in case something pops off, you just never know. You in a car, you can either keep it locked, like how I have it right here, or you can move it to unlocked, which shows it. What I would do is have it unlocked, and I'll have it like right here. Okay, I'll have it unlocked and I'll have it right here just in case something happens and you need to act quickly. Okay, because whatever the case may be, and let's say you're just right here and you have it unlocked, and then you're like, okay, so you do some crazy stuff, he tries to do something, you'll automatically have it ready. Or if as long as you're quick enough, you could just have it, locked. I mean, as you see, I'm locking it and unlocking it, and it takes almost no time. Okay, so if you want to have it unlocked, I mean, if you want to have a lock just in case your trigger happens, you're like, oh my God, you could do that. But, just having it in your hand is really the best thing for it. Just having it in your hand. Also, the reason why I picked this one in particular is because I looked at all the ratings, and, you had people, a lot of them, most of them didn't even use it, right? But there was some of them where you had like the husband who was like ex-military or is current military, and you're a police officer, and they told their chick, they were like, yo, spray this on me, spray it on my arm, spray it in my face, so I can see if this stuff actually works. Okay, because I don't want you walking around thinking you have something that works, and then you're like, shh, and then the person's like, okay, all right, let me keep doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So with this, people were like, yo, she sprayed me, this stuff burned, and this stuff was just lingering. They said, if you got clothes, do not wash them with everything else, because that smell will still be on there. They're like, wash that stuff separately, and wash your entire body off thoroughly. Do not touch your face, do not touch your eyes any more than you have to, and they were like legit like, yo, this stuff really works. It was no joke. They were burning. But I was so happy that they did that, because it allows it to be tested. So, obviously, hopefully nothing's, faulty, but so that you use this, they're going to be done. Okay. And I've seen plenty of videos, and hey, if you want to get 2 of them, because they are so small too. So if you do want to get 2 of them, all I would say is you use it, hurry up and get out the car. As long as it's safe to do so, hurry up and get out the car, because from what I'm hearing with this, it's pepper spray, for crying out loud, so that entire room, that entire car is going to be lit up, if you know what I mean. So definitely do that, but definitely let me know, like, do you guys take any of these extra precautions? Have you tried Uber Black? Have you guys had any negative experiences with it? Like I told you, I had my 2. I had some other ones, but they weren't like, anything crazy besides like maybe someone smoking weed in there or something like that. Not smoking, but they smelled like weed. Like I had one where it literally smelled like 20 plants was up in there, because it was that bad. And I'm just like, my eyes were hurting. I'm like, yo, what the heck is going on up in here, so definitely let me know what you guys think, what you guys have done down in the comments down below. And until then.